The comedian Roger Dangerfield used this line often: "I don't get no respect." In his monologues, he told untold millions of people stories based off that, and they laughed and laughed and laughed. It's funny. If you haven't seen Rodney Dangerfield and "I Don't Get No Respect" monologue, it'd be worth watching. It's much more serious, however, when it gets down to our dealerships. Let's look at this together in more detail about not getting any respect. First, from your customer's perspective. If your customer believes your dealership disrespects them, I promise you they're not going to spend money there. Not for long term. There are many ways to show respect for your customer, starting with their time. The most important thing any of us need to manage effectively is our time. If the dealership doesn't schedule appropriately, and it shows no respect for your customer when you force them to wait 2.5, 3 hours for an oil change service. You see, in that respect, it starts, why do we have 15 or 20 people show up at 8 o'clock? It's a lack of respect. It's a lack of processes. But it causes them the disservice. It causes them the inconvenience. I promise you, they don't care one bit. You have 2 techs off today being trained and another phoned off with illness. So many times I hear that kind of conversation with an advisor. Customer looks at down an advisor, tracks him down, finds him, and the excuses start flowing out of the employee's mouth. I'll say it again. They frankly don't care about your issues. They want to get their task completed and go on about their day. Another way your customers are commonly disrespected in dealerships is not to take the time to understand every concern they have. They show up at the dealership, get processed like cattle into a slaughterhouse without the advisor even looking at their issue to totally understand it. It loses technician time, customer satisfaction, repaired right the first time on your CSI scores. There's no advantage to it. Many times the customer will have to return back to the dealership to get the repair they wanted fixed right anyway, because it wasn't explained correctly on the repair order. Let's go and look at this. A customer comes in, as an example, and says, "I have a loose door handle. Want to get that fixed." So the service advisor, as rushed as they are, and man, they're sure busy, they surely don't have time to actually understand the issue. So they write on the repair order, "Customer states loose door handle." Well, then that technician reads that repair order and goes, "Well, it's a 4-door vehicle. We've got 8 door handles. Which one is it?" So they go around, inspect every door handle, trying to look for a problem. Finally, they say, "These door handles are all normal." So they stop what they're doing, go track down the advisor, wait for him to answer 3 phone calls to find out they don't even know what door handle the customer was talking about. Let me try and track them down. All the while, time is ticking and being lost. Is that showing anybody respect? Another way we show disrespect to the customer is when they're right in front of the advisor, trying to get their car into the dealership, many times having to wait too long to even get to that place. They show disrespect when they're interrupted with several phone calls. The advisor, "Oh yeah, hold on," and then they talk to the phone call and don't take care of the customer in front of them. How would you feel? waiting in front of an advisor, being interrupted with incoming phone calls. That shows disrespect to the customer. Show them respect for their time, treat them with dignity, have processes in place that make sure they know your commitment to them. Another way we don't show respect is from your people. If your dealership employees believe they're not respected, surely they won't show the customer the respect they deserve. It should be a common practice that employees are told when they do a great job. When they only hear about the things that go wrong, the dealership's creating a negative culture that spreads and can't be hidden from your customer. When your employees are appreciated and valued with compensation and your attention, your customers will always be treated better. I just read in NADA for April 11th issue, and they're talking about turnover and compensation for dealership employees. And I want to pay special attention to this because imagine if you're constantly turning over your people, are you going to be as profitable as you should be? Are you going to be as productive? Are you always going to be starting again over and over, trying to find the next right person to fill that slot? We have to show employees respect, and part of that is compensation. It's listening. It's seeking out their advice and input. What can we do to improve? Open and honestly ask what can be done to make their experience as an employee better. Here's some interesting issues, and we're talking about turnover and profitability and how it all relates. Well, NADA expects dealer employment to reach an all-time high in 2016. Dealership performance should be strong again. An area of strength continues to be parts and service business with total revenue of $97.18 billion in 2015. Almost $100 billion parts and service. That's up 5.9% from 2014. The average dealership posted service and parts sales of $5.9 million, up 4.9%. The number of total repair orders rose to 258 million in 2015, up from 235 in 2014. The average dealership posted net profit from service and parts of $363,308 last year. That was almost 9 times the average net profit from the new vehicle department and 5 times that of the used vehicle department. Still, the customer pay business is getting squeezed by the increase in recalls, particularly time-consuming recalls such as the Takata airbag problem. Turnover, employee compensation, part of this profitability. You know, I hope you're listening to those numbers and you go, well, man, that would be wonderful if my dealership had a net profit of $363,000 from service and parts. I'm not even near that. You know, this respect for the customer, respect for the employees. This is a culture that must be based on a foundation that truly cares about improving the quality of life for every dealership employee and every customer. Make a promise to never allow your customers or your employees to feel like Rodney Dangerfield. Always show them the respect they deserve and never be average. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you next week.